A 300-pound lioness launched herself through the air and slammed into a man's chest. The crowd froze in horror. Sanctuary workers who had begged him not to enter braced for the worst. Then the lioness pressed her head against him and began licking his face. This is the story of Valentine, a man who refused to let a dying cub meet its fate alone in the African grass, and the lioness who never, not for a single day, forgot what he did for her. It started like any other patrol. Valentine Lunar and his friend Mikkel were cutting across the savannah in their Land Cruiser, windows down, eyes scanning the horizon for anything out of place. The African bush has a rhythm to it, the rustle of dry grass, the distant bark of a baboon, the heat shimmering off the red earth. You learn to read it after years of working there. So when a sound broke through that rhythm, faint, desperate, unmistakably alive, both men felt it before they could explain it. They killed the engine. Silence pressed in around them. The sound came again, small, fragile, coming from somewhere deep in the tall grass to their left. Valentine and Mikkel dropped from the vehicle and crept toward it, every step deliberate. Their first instinct said baby antelope, a common enough sight. But as they pushed through the undergrowth, the truth waiting for them was something else entirely. 3 lion cubs, barely weeks old, tucked into a hollow in the grass, and 2 of them were already dead. The men stood completely still, not out of fear of the cubs, but because every experienced bushworker knows what finding lion cubs means. A mother is close. A lioness protecting her young is one of the most dangerous forces in nature. Valentine scanned the tree line, his heart hammering. Nothing moved. He waited. Still nothing. That's when the dread settled in, not the dread of danger, but something worse. The silence where a mother should have been. The surviving cub turned its dark, trembling eyes toward the 2 men and let out a sound so small and so desperate it stopped Valentine cold. This tiny creature had been alone out here, no mother coming back. No warmth, no food, just the slow, creeping certainty of the end. Valentine's throat tightened. He crouched down. The cub, against every instinct of a wild animal, did something extraordinary. It ran toward him. Taking a lion cub home is not a rational decision. Valentine knew that. Mikkel reminded him of it several times on the drive back. But rationality has very little to say in the face of a starving cub curled against your chest, its heartbeat quick and fragile as a bird's. He named her Surga. The first hours were terrifying. Surga refused to eat. Valentine tried everything: sardines, milk, gentle coaxing. Nothing worked. The cub was shutting down, her tiny body already in crisis from abandonment and exposure. He called a local veterinarian in desperation, and the man didn't hesitate. Bring her in, immediately. Valentine drove through the dark, with Surga wrapped in a blanket on the passenger seat, watching her breathe, willing her to keep going just a little longer. The veterinary team worked through the night. 48 hours later, against the odds, Surga pulled through. What followed was a transformation that Valentine still struggles to put into words. The fragile, terrified cub who flinched at every sound gradually became something radiant. Under Valentine's care, Surga gained weight, then confidence, then joy. She learned tricks. She ambushed him in the hallway. She slept pressed against his legs, her deep purr vibrating through the floor like distant thunder. Valentine taught her the things a mother should have: how to stalk, how to read the wind, how to move through the grass without making a sound. He gave her the foundation of a wild life, even as she lived a domestic one. Their bond deepened with every passing week into something that defied easy description. She wasn't a pet. He wasn't an owner. They were, simply and profoundly, family. But Africa has its own clock. Surga was growing fast. The neighbors grew uneasy, and Valentine's life in Germany was calling him back across the ocean. The day he had been dreading arrived. He placed Surga in a wildlife sanctuary, a good one, with kind staff and open land. He told himself it was the right decision. He told himself she would be happy. Standing at the gate, watching her pace the enclosure, he told himself a lot of things and believed almost none of them. The reports from the sanctuary came quietly at first. Surga was adjusting. Surga was eating. Then, as the months passed, the truth leaked through the careful professional language. Surga was withdrawn. She wasn't playing. She barely interacted with the other animals. The light that Valentine had watched grow in her eyes over months of care had, according to the people who watched her every day, simply gone out. A year after the goodbye, Valentine booked the flight. The sanctuary staff greeted him with poorly concealed anxiety. They warned him. Some of them begged him, "She's a wild animal now. Whatever bond you had, a year is a long time. Please do not go inside the enclosure." Valentine listened to every word. Then he opened the gate. Serga was at the far end of the enclosure when she heard the hinges move. She turned, and something happened in her, bearing a change so immediate and complete that the staff watching fell silent. She moved toward him at first in careful, measured steps, the way lions do when they are absolutely certain of something but taking no chances. Then the distance between them collapsed, and she hit him like a wave paws on his shoulders, her great head pressed into his neck, her rough tongue moving against his face again and again, while Valentine laughed and wept and held her. She had not forgotten. Not one day of it. Not the cold grass where he found her, not the warmth of his hands wrapping around her for the first time, not a single moment of the life he had given her when the savannah had decided she was already gone. Some bonds don't care about time. Some love doesn't require a spoken language. And sometimes, against every reasonable expectation, the most fragile thing in a field of tall grass survives and grows into something magnificent.